What's good, Grassroots World? I'm Chris Logan,
I'm Ernie Barber.
and we are the Flagrant 2 coach. I know it's been a long time, but what's happening, my man?
No, man, it's been good. Obviously, get out to the camp. ProSpecs Camp was fun. Got to spend some time talking to some of the kids, some of my guys, some of the other guys, giving advice for certain things. There was a lot of people coming up talking to me, but a lot of coaches talking to coaches. It was good. I enjoyed it. It almost felt like a homecoming type thing. I haven't been in the gym since the season was over. Until then, I've done a couple workouts with a couple guys individually, but went on vacation, did some other stuff like that. But it's good to kind of get back in the swing and talk basketball and kind of get back into things. It was good to see everybody there. I was excited to see the camp. Last year I wasn't able to go, and this year I made sure that I was able to go. So it was really well run. You guys did a great job. And all the coaches, man, there were a ton of coaches there.
Yeah.
Oklahoma teams, even some outside of Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah.
It was done first rate, and all the coaches seemed real happy with it. Got to view the players and talk to everybody. So it was.
Yeah.
I know it was good for them too, which is just builds what you guys are doing, and the credibility of it is it speaks for itself.
Yeah, and I know obviously we've been off for a little while. We did a last show in late July, obviously recapping a lot of the summer basketball. It's kind of that period of right now. I mean, I'm dealing with a lot of recruiting and a lot of coaches calling and all
Yep.
that stuff. So it's mainly some stuff behind closed doors, but obviously we were super excited to bring it under a new name as ProSpecs Camp and bring it to Oklahoma City. It had been in Tulsa the last prior years, but it's something that we, me and Chevis Miller have put a ton of work into, but the team goes deeper than that. We have a lot of guys that have helped out along the way, and I'll talk about those guys in a little bit here. But it's funny is we had coaches sign up prior, and I think I had like 35 were coming in person. We had 25 online, 24, 25, all Division I's online, by the way.
Yeah.
And we're
Yep.
talking about high level, not just like low mid majors. We had a
Yep.
bunch of high major schools on there, a couple blue bloods even. So it's different than what everybody else is doing. I'm not saying there anybody else out there doing. I don't know. I just don't know about it if it is.
Yeah.
But overall, the funny thing is the list stopped at 35. We had 15 coaches show up that weren't even on the list that
Yep.
just heard about the event. And of course, as long as we knew that they were real college coaches and they had all their identification, we let them sign in. And we had 49 coaches in person and another 24, I think, online. So you're talking about 74, 75 coaches watching
Yeah.
you.
First rate, man. That's fantastic.
I mean, 75 coaches from every single level, from JUCO, NAIA, and some national JUCOs at that, not just Oklahoma JUCOs, but all levels of JUCO, all levels of NAIA, D3, every D2 in Oklahoma was pretty much there. UCO, you
Yep.
name it, they had representation.
Southwestern was there. Yeah. OBU was there.
Head
That's
coaches
why I talked to all
galore.
of them.
Yeah,
Yep.
so and then you get into the Division I's, and I love it because it never stops. When I do something, and obviously Chevis the same, but I speak for myself. Like, it doesn't stop the day after the camp. Those Division I coaches have been calling me, and they love some of the kids that they've seen, some of the younger guys especially.
Yeah.
And we've been setting up stuff and setting up hopefully relationships with those guys, and hopefully it will lead to some things down the line.
Yep.
Because as you know, we talked about it on every episode. There's levels to this, and four-year universities don't typically offer the day of seeing somebody that they've never
Yes.
seen before. So there's a lot that plays into this, but it's absolutely going to pay off. I can tell you this: there's been about 5-6 offers that have already come. A couple have been posted. Some have not been
There'll be
posted.
more. There's
That's
more.
up to the kids just haven't posted them. Some kids, certain schools, I don't know what they're, why they do that. That's up to them. Maybe they feel like they're a higher level. I'm not going to get into that. But those offers are there, and
Yep.
we have been told by the college coach, and we've been told by the schools and players. So it's great to see that. At the end of the day, the only thing I ever promise is I'm gonna bring the coaches. I'm gonna bring the players. Whatever happens in between those lines, that's not on me. Like, I can't make you look like a better player. All I can do is lead the horse to the water and offer an opportunity. But I believe it's the best opportunity in Oklahoma in one day setting to get yourself seen by that many college coaches. Because as you know, you can get out to AAU tournaments, but depending on the schedule and who you're
Yes.
playing and what court you're on, like that decides who's coming to see you and all that stuff.
Yep.
So this is just
schedules make it very difficult for coaches sometimes. So, they may be in the building, but they may not be watching you because they got caught up in another conversation with another coach or another family or another player. So, yeah.
I mean, ProSpecs was an absolute smash. It was loaded. Tons of people showed up from the community. I saw guys from every walk of life in basketball and every background, and guys from out of state were even there. We brought a bunch of kids in from all over the place that really performed well too. Some out of state guys made a name for themselves here.
The talent was high there. I'm going to tell you, watching just warm ups and watching the guys play, it made me almost want to come out of retirement and do a 2027 squad. So
we definitely had some guys, and I'm not going to drop their names on here, but we had about a good 6 kids that were some 4 and 5 star that they had visits that came up, and I'm never going to tell a kid not to take a high major visit that he has. Sure. If we missed some kid, we had a couple kids that I really, really thought were really guys that could explode. A couple of them got injuries within the first 2 days before the camp. That stuff's going to happen when you're dealing with 100 players. Luckily, we had you
were loaded anyway.
70 people waiting list. No, we had 10 kids there that didn't even know if they were going to be able to get in, and some of them got in due to injuries and someone not showing up. So kudos to those kids for taking the opportunity. And hey, they couldn't get into camp; it was sold out, but they showed up and they had their shoes. And
those are kids. Those are the type of kids eventually are going to find their way onto a roster because they work hard, they want it, and they're willing to do anything for it. That's their dream.
Yep. Which is great mix of kids. Obviously, we got great feedback. I'm very meticulous, so there's always things I'm going to work on, and I know Chevis will, and the team that we have that helps with this event. We're going to work on stuff to continually make this better because we want national camp, and it got there. It's, if you don't want to say it's close, then it got there already because national means what? You brought guys in from all over the country. We did that. But we want to bring it to Oklahoma. We don't want our kids to have to go somewhere else, which we're fine with them doing that. Like, go to some of these big camps. If you got invited to the Wooten or Top 100,
for sure,
whatever, go do that, please, by all means. But we want the kids to have to come to Oklahoma because we want to show what it's like here, and it's not necessarily, if you don't live here, you may not know the culture and the basketball scene, and we want to bring it here and make everybody show up here. And we know we have the relationships with colleges to continue to stockpile guys, and we know we can get the talent. So it's just a perfect, unity of that coming together. Great event, loved everything about it, and we're continuing to grow that. But obviously, we on this show we wanted to highlight some guys that we saw. So clearly, off the bat, the guys that got awards, the MVPs of the camp. We had a co-MVP, and first time we've ever done that because we thought both of these guys deserved it. Jock Mitchell is quickly becoming. He's right there as the top prospect in Oklahoma, regardless of class. Jalen has held that spot down. Jock is right on that bumper of pushing himself into that stratosphere. And that's apparent by the offers he has and the offers he's going to get here pretty soon. From SEC and Big 12 schools and maybe some Big 10 schools, but he has just simply been phenomenal. I think he's one of the best guards in that class in the country. And I know that he's in the top 100 now or whatever on ESPN, but I think he's better than that. I think that if you see Jock Mitchell in person, he has a gear that very few human beings on this planet have. And that includes guys at the professional level. It's that explosiveness and that extra gear where once he kicks it in,
he did some amazing things in the camp. It was
you can't stay in front of that kid. It was and his body, the way he's built, the game, his passing ability, his ability to finish.
I like his motor. I think his motor, when you look at coaches wanting to recruit a kid coming out of high school that's going to be a freshman in college, at that level, that's tough to get to that level, the high, mid-major, high major, where he's likely to end up. But a lot of times you're competing against the best athletes, in the country that are 23, 24 years old. Even as a 19 or 18-year-old or whatever coming out of high school into college, when you have a motor like that, you find out where you can make a difference, and the coaches find value in that right away, and they trust you right away and put you on the floor earlier than maybe a lot of people expect. That's what I think stands out to me. Yes, he's got all the athleticism. His IQ is really good. His skill set all around is extremely good. I would argue that it's probably one of the best we've had come out of Oklahoma in a while.
Yeah.
Honestly. I mean, if you look at the all around skill, I would say
because it's that, and I was just going to just piggyback on that, is that he's a kid that, like, you could take him right now and he's only a 2027. You could drop him in a high major basketball game and he looked like he fits in because his body and athleticism would lead him to be able to hold his own. Right now. It's like right now, and he's got 2 years of high school left, essentially. So it's like, that's what's special about him and where it's taking him. But again, that dribble, cross, when he crosses over, there's very few people in the world that can do it that explosive and fast to where it just doesn't even look real. It's almost like, how are you going to stay in front of that? You can't really. I mean, and then
it's an old school cross too. It's a 90s cross.
He's got a nice game, and it's only getting better. But the co-MVP and this kid, to me, is the most fierce competitor, I think, in Oklahoma, is 2028 David Douglas out of East Central High School. This kid, like, he kills me because we pick an all-star team, obviously, at the end. And 2 years in a row, I wasn't getting him. I didn't get him. And every time I don't get him, he lets you know about it and he makes you pay for it, because that kid is the ultimate competitor. I don't care where that kid plays. He's probably at a park, at a pickup game. The dude's a killer. Like, he's so skilled, and he's such a leader at that young of an age. It's rare to see a guy that commands.
Very rare. That's very rare.
He commands the huddle, and just guys gravitate towards that as a true leader. And I mean, that's not even talking about the skills, which are unbelievable, but that's the stuff, that intangible stuff that has David Douglas, in my opinion, is going to be a kid that right now has mid-major offers. He's going to have some high major stuff. Yeah, he's just too good of a player at that age to not.
And you mentioned his leadership too. Leadership is what you need at that guard position, and he does that already. He's only going to get better at that, and then not to mention all the skills and everything else that come along with it. And he's a winner, so. It's hard. That's what you need from a point guard position. All of those things. You just checked all the top 3 boxes are what he possesses already as a young basketball player.
And then to be able to put him and Jock head to head was very fun to see, because those guys are really good friends, but they're both elite competitors, and they went at each other, and it was really that was worth the price of admission. If you miss Prospects Camp, well, hell, it went viral. It's all over Overtime Elite, House of Highlights. It's all over Instagram.
I got to see a bunch of stuff. I had to leave a little bit before I wanted to, but I got to catch up on all that later. So
there's a lot of there'll be different camps and things that come here, but not many of them are going to get that attention like that in the first year as prospects. So we're really proud of that, and we're really proud of the kids and how they came out. Overall, we're proud of the way they competed, because
and they conducted themselves well too. Everybody, even though you're competing hard and you're playing hard, everybody, acted well. I mean, guys get beat. They just took it and went on and kept playing. So I thought it went really, really well. There were no issues at all whatsoever. Everybody was getting along. Everybody's playing hard. The kids got along well, but were playing and competing, and everybody was doing their thing. So it went off without a hitch. I mean, you may have felt differently because you had all the stress and pressure on your end, but I felt like it went very, very well.
Yeah. It's those things, man. Operating those things are and anybody that knows, it's stressful, but it came out really well. But piggybacking again on working hard, the guy that we gave not but the guy that we gave defensive MVP, he
Yeah, I
could
was
have been
going
an
to transition to that. Yeah, I was going to ask you
he
about
could have been
defense.
an offensive MVP. And this, to me, in my opinion, this is the second best kid in Arkansas. RJ Young, he's a 6'5" guard, shooting guard out of Bryant High School. He's a state champ. I mean, in my opinion, JJ Andrews could be the number one guy, and he's going to Arkansas. RJ Young, to me, should hold high major offers. He's got a bunch of mid-major stuff.
Yeah.
You know, he should hold some stuff at that level because he physically can compete at that level. But he showed me everything I wanted to see from him, is because I already knew he was second or third in scoring in the 3SSB, which that's saying something in its own right. In the 17U division, that's saying something with a bunch of pros in there. But it's the defensive effort that he brought in a setting like that. And I've gotten to see him a few times in AAU, but coming into that setting and how serious he took it, this dude was diving all over the floor. He was blocking shots at the rim. He's just so physical and big.
Coaches notice that too. That's going to pop off the page as much as scoring will.
I've become one of the biggest fans of this kid's game in a short period of time, and I will go to bat for him on anything he needs as far as like what schools, and I'm trying to push him to some Big 12 schools, and I'm not going to get too much into all that, but I think he can play at that level. And the last few kids that were slated to go mid-major that I said deserve to be high major, they made me look really well because they're doing really well at the high major level. And I just think that he's a kid to me that maybe it takes him a year at a mid-major, whatever, to get to that, but I think he absolutely can play at that. He blew me away with the tenacity that he brought in that setting as a kid that already has a lot of accolades, Ernie. So he didn't have to show up there as a kid, as a senior, and really do all that, and he did it, and he earned my respect, and I think he's a hell of a player. I think, like I said, I think it's the second best player in Arkansas. So, and they got some good players, so that's saying something. But and I'm just going through the awards. The last award we gave out was Donald Lasser Jr. Award, which this is a young man that passed away in the wreck, this summer, and was a member of Chaos. A great kid. He was very close to my partner Chevis Miller. So it means a lot to him. And all I know about him, about DJ, was the ultimate dog competitor on the court. So we wanted to name and tribute that award, which is what all of our awards are tributed to, someone that's not here any longer, whether it's Wayman Tisdale or Reggie Chaney. And it's always a blessing that we have their family's blessing in giving those awards away. And that's another thing that separates this camp, is that we have the support of those guys and their families, and they know why we do it and why we give these awards out and what it means to those families and these kids. And we really just thank them for trusting in us. But that award was given to Joey Folsom of Newcastle. And Joey's near and dear to our heart in the Flagrant podcast, Flagrant 2, because Joey Ball is something that Coach Barber created, and it really is a style of play. It's not it ain't even just Joey. Like, if you play like that, that's Joey Ball, because that kid gave the most effort I've ever seen the other day. Like, the unanimous vote from every person in there was like, if we're giving away the hardest worker award, it's got to be Joey Folsom. And I just think that, sometimes undersized guards, they don't get the much love as everybody else. Maybe if they're not a 20, 30-point scorer, they don't get love. But Joey got love from us and always will, because he busts his ass on every play.
He brings it every game. Does not matter. It's always 110%. He's on the floor. He does anything it takes to help the team win. So
if we got to get in a foxhole and we got to fight, like, give me that kid. Like, I'm taking that kid, because I know he's not backing down, and I know he's bringing 110% effort. So I always want to give a shout out. And I love that the team that we had build this camp came up with that idea to give that award, and couldn't have went to a more perfect kid than Joey Folsom this year. So I'm really proud of him, and I expect him to be a big part of Newcastle on a chance to a run to possibly a gold ball. Won't be easy, because the guy we mentioned earlier, Jock Mitchell, is going to be in the way. It's going
to be fun to watch this year. I've already kind of talked to a lot of the guys on that squad. Most of them are my guys, but I've talked to some of the parents and stuff, so they're all looking forward to it. It won't be that far from my house either, so I'll probably be making a drive to go watch quite a few
Yeah.
home games this year, so it'll be fun. Looking forward to it.
Yep. And then I just wanted to get some guys that I just, to
Yeah,
me
let's
are
talk
just,
about 'em.
really are just on the cusp of, I mean, they're getting there already, but they're really on the cusp. The kid that to me has a chance to really be a Division I, level guard and really make a huge impact in Oklahoma is Keaton Murray out of Putnam City North. Um, Number one, we had him last year as a freshman. He was one of the
Yep.
very few freshmen we brought into our camp because I know and I trust in what he does, and I love the way he plays. But the fact that he grew 3 or 4 inches since last year, like he's
Doesn't hurt.
now like a legitimate big point
with
guard.
the skills that he needs to be a productive guard. So yeah.
And he's got that lefty, and it just looks pretty. I mean, he had some unbelievable plays, and I think we'll have some videos coming out soon. He made some unbelievable plays, and not just scoring, playmaking, getting guys going. And that All-Star game, he was putting on a show. He's the real deal in that. And everybody that knows me knows I've been very high on the 2026 and the 2028 class from a whole. That doesn't mean that the 27s don't have some guys and the 29s. Yeah. Obviously, the 27s, Jock Mitchell and Tyson Pogai, and there's some. I was
going to say there's a number of high level guys in that 2027 class.
Yeah, we're going to get into a couple of them here in a minute, but overall, the 28 and that 26 class are very deep, and clearly, 26 class is putting. It might be the most kids ever went Division I out of high school. Honestly, it's we'd have to go back and look at the record books. I don't remember any class anytime soon. I know the 2021 class with Trey Alexander, they got a lot of guys D1, but they didn't go straight to D1.
Yes.
So a lot of them are D1 now, and some of them are still in college. But this 26 class is sending a lot of guys D1, and that COVID rule expiring plays into some of that. But
the moratorium's over with, so yeah, they're a lot of the coaches were back at it coaching. Yeah. I know just from the AAU circuit, we had more coaches than ever back watching players play this year to kind of evaluate and see, who's who and where their interest is based on what their needs were. And there were more, and there's going to end up being more, like we talked about off air. There's going to be way more than there has been in the years past come out of Oklahoma that go straight into Division I program, which, you can attribute it to the COVID rule. I think that's a big part of it. It all goes down to this too, and this is the other part of it, is the need that the coaches have on their rosters too. So that plays into it. It's not necessarily that this class is a whole lot better than the class before them or the class after them. It all has to do with need and who's exhausted from, who graduated. All that sort of stuff plays into it. I think a lot of people think, oh, this kid's better than that kid because he went Division I and this kid didn't. Well, not necessarily. It's because they didn't have the need when that kid was in school, so he had to go a different route, and maybe he made it, maybe he didn't. But
it's I mean, that's just facts. That's just what it is. But I am, regardless. I'm really happy for all these guys. I'm really happy about any level that
I am too. I really you get to play at the next level and get your school paid for, and if you can make money doing it, I mean, come on. What's there not to love about that? I don't care if you like the kid or not. That's good. It's good news.
Absolutely. But back to Keaton Murray plays for MoKan in the summer. I just think he's a legitimate guy.
His stats were. I mean, he didn't he lead? What was it? There was a couple stats where he was up in the top in terms of. What statistical categories was he leading, or at the top?
Might have been like assist to turnover ratio, which another guy I was going to mention, Sion Wilborn from Mustangs point guard. He was the same way in the EYBL E15 division. He played. I think he missed 2 shots they counted in the entire camp the other day. He's a shot maker, but he's so crafty with the ball in his hands. His team that he was on was really good. I mean, it had a 6'8" wing. It had a 6'9" big man. He had RJ Young. I mean, they were loaded with guys, and he really ran that offense, orchestrated. Sion's going to be a great. He's already a very good player. He's going to be great as he matures and just the body fills out and he gets stronger. He's just going to get better and better. But he was unbelievable the other day. One of the better performances in the camp, and that got him on the top 20 game. Keaton Murray was top 20. In our All-Star game, both very deserving. A lot of kids that got left off that like, and I spoke to the kids and said, listen, this was the hardest ever for us to choose. There was about another 10 kids that I think really deserve to be on there. And
Yeah.
I let them know, like, this is not a slight towards you. It's just a numbers game, and we got to go with what we
There
got to
was
go.
so much talent there, Chris. I've never, just sitting there watching and looking, going to each court, it was
Yeah.
just like a smorgasbord of basketball players. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
how can you? Oh,
College coaches were saying, like, listen, we've been to some others. The competition and it was just it's
yeah,
night and day. It's just from top to bottom. It was loaded with guys that are really really good. So I'm really proud of that, and that's really what we want to put on, because we want these college coaches to continue to come back and offer these kids and make relationships with them, whether it be JUCOs will tend to offer a lot. Some of them will offer. Joey Folsom picked up an offer right away from that event. So, and rightfully so. He worked his butt off. So,
I would say one thing. I would say this too, and it's on my mind, so I want to say this. I think it's really, really important, and it's nothing wrong when you send a GA to an event, right?
Yes.
I saw a few GAs.
Yes.
I would say to the coaches, if any of them listen, this camp is legit, and these are the best players, arguably, in the region in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend coaches that if you can't make it, the head coach can't make it yourself, that you send your assistant, your top assistant, because legitimately you're missing an opportunity to get in front of these parents, because the parents are there. A lot of the AAU coaches are there, other coaches, high school coaches, where you can really dig in and find some fantastic players to fill your roster up, depending on what your needs are.
Well, and they can just get a leg up. I mean, honestly, those other schools that did send their heads can get a leg up on the recruiting, and especially.
And I'm not saying that the GAs are not trying to help and work hard and learn. I'm not. I mean, I think that's all part of the process, and I think it's good.
I appreciate them all. I like the representation from the different schools, but I understand where you're getting at, because this is not like a camp where you just well, maybe we'll go. Maybe this was
anybody in the basketball world in our area is all there, and it's built in perfect opportunity to talk to these kids, see them play against the best players around, and then also be able to evaluate talent and see other players against them that are just as good.
Essentially, like and this is just Oklahoma, but essentially, like, we had kids from other states, but if I'm just talking Oklahoma kids, the only kids that weren't there were kids that were basically committed. Like, they either had already committed, and listen, I had kids that were coming that committed in the time, and obviously I'm okay with that. Then they don't need to show up then, because then they would just be taking a spot away from someone that might need to get an offer. So, but I'm just saying, like, we even had some kids that weren't there that were signed up. So it's like, there's some different dynamics that came into play because they were already committed. But other than the kids that committed, there was a couple guys, but guess what? Some of them got hurt. They were going to be there. Like, we had the best of the best in Oklahoma. So, and then we had the best of the best from other states. So it's like, if you're a college coach, and obviously some of those guys were Division I, and they were watching online, and their head coaches were watching, because I've talked to them since, and their assistants watched. So I love that. I just love that the attention to detail that these guys put in, and they hit me up like, hey, Chris, I saw this kid. Who is this guy? Give me his information. Let me know about him. That's what this is really about. This is about every level of basketball. Like, I don't just want to put on just a D1 camp.
Correct.
Because
and I think
I'm cutting out a lot of guys in Oklahoma who aren't going to play at the Division I level, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Correct.
But there was a lot of Division II guys that were really good there.
Oh, yeah.
And you want to get your leg up, and getting your coaches there and getting in front of these parents and showing them that you're there. It's always a great thing.
That's my whole point, was just encouraging the coaches,
100%.
either the head coaches, and there were plenty of head coaches there from the Division II level as well. I would just say, if you can be there, I mean, everybody's got their life and their family commitments and the coaching commitments and all the other things that they do. I'm not disrespecting that at all. I'm just saying this camp is definitely something you want to put on your calendar moving forward when it comes out, so that way you can be there, because I think it's representing and showing Oklahoma that you have interest in Oklahoma players, but also you're getting a collection of the very best. So it's definitely worth your time. And that's really what my point was. Hey, GAs need to go because, they've got to learn how to be coaches. And so they're coming out of playing a lot of times or whatever and learning how to be coaches. Nothing wrong with that. I'm inviting the coaches and assistants that may not have come. Hey, I think it's definitely you need to maybe reconsider that and put that on your calendar next year. That's all I'm saying.
We're just building. Rome wasn't built in a day. We believe if you build it, they will come, and they absolutely will, because otherwise they'll be missing out on some dudes, because that's what we had. And it's even guys like, and I was trying to kind of stick in the 2028 class, but like a guy like Jet Mugenberg from Okarche, we had a lot of big name kids from big schools there, and Jet made it into the top 20 game from a Class A school because he brought his game. And by the way, he does it on a night in night basis in Oklahoma high school basketball. That's why he's back to back, defending champ. And unless something happens, he's going to be a 3. They're definitely going to win again. So I would say Okarche's got to be, there's another team out there that could possibly put it, but Okarche is going to be the front runner for that again. But this kid, he had a game that I watched. Remember, these were 12-minute games. He had, if he didn't have 30, he had right at it. And I mean, he must have hit nine. There was other guys watching with us. He must have hit 9 threes. I think he missed one shot. I think he might have went 9 from 10 from 3. But it's just the way he played. He was so savvy and just, I love to see kids like that from the small town show up in front of a lot of guys, a lot of Division I level guys, and really play really well. And that's why, and I talked to him and his family, like, he deserved to be on that all-star team. He earned that right. And his body of work in high school has earned him the right to be into that situation, because he's a really good player. And honestly, if I'm a Division II in Oklahoma, I'm offering that kid. I don't care what he plays at. That kid can play.
Well, he's a winner.
A lot of kids want.
He's a winner, and he sticks to what he does well. He's consistent, and I think there's a lot of things to be said for that. You've got some kids that have these high ceilings, but they aren't always so consistent. And he's been really, really consistent over the last couple of years, winning, impacting the game, and really making an impact on the team.
Drops like 40 points a night too, so he can put the ball in the hole. But he obviously can do a lot more than that. And I mean, that's a kid that, like, just because he plays for a Class A school and I'm a college, I'm not going to be scared of that. That kid has shown throughout the summer, on obviously the Pro 16 or Next Pro, whatever. He's shown that he can handle it there, and then he's shown in that camp alone, going against guys that are high-level Division I guys, he can play. So I mean, what else you need to see? I mean, that and he's got. And by the way, he's 6'3". He's got great size. It's like he does everything well. So that's a kid that I'll stamp, with my approval, and anybody that wants to talk to me or holler at me about him, I'll be glad to tell you about him. But I know I wanted to jump around, but back to them 28s. Aiden Bazana, the 6'8" kid from the wing from Jinx. I mean, he's going to work his way up to one of the best prospects in Oklahoma.
He looks good.
He's special.
He looks really good.
He blocks shots, runs the floor like a guard, can shoot the 3, dunks everything. I mean,
I watched him in a lot of the drills that you guys were doing beforehand when you were warming up, and I was just like, wow, this kid can move. He can play, can get off the floor. He's athletic. He's long. I mean, he does a lot of things well.
He's a unicorn of a kid. But again, why I think that 2028 class, is so good is that, we're talking about your Parker McDaniels, your Bubba, David Douglas, Bubba D, your guys like that, and then Keaton Murray's, and it goes on and on. Rodney Smith, it just goes on and on and on with guys that are, I mean, these are Division I level guys that. Some of them high level Division I. Like it's
arguably the most talented class we've had in the state in a decade or more.
Yeah, and I mean, guys like Caden Gaines from Woodward, 6'8", one of the best 3-point shooters in Oklahoma, is 6'8", but he can do some other things as he continues to develop his body and his game. Like, that's a legit prospect in Oklahoma. Your Garrett Smith's a Mustang. I mean, that class just goes on and on. Garrett is like your hybrid forward. I mean, probably will lead the state in dunks, regardless of class, but because he dunks everything. But he can shoot threes. He can expand his game as he
Mhm.
continues to expand some stuff off the dribble. His stock will continue to rise. That class is so special. Those are two kids in Caden and him that obviously could have been in the top 20 game, but
Yeah.
there was kids that just played at such a high level that we're basing it off of that day, not who's going to be the long-term
Yeah.
recruits. And I always say that because I want them to understand that doesn't mean for 1 second that I don't think you're a dude and you're not a Division I level guy.
Everybody that was there was an excellent basketball player. You wouldn't have been there had
Yes.
you not been an excellent basketball
Yes,
player.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's some of those guys that I hit in the 28s, and obviously there's some more that I'm going to probably miss, but for time's purposes, we're going to jump around and we mentioned some 2027s. I think Bo Barber from Cross is just coming
Yep.
into his own. I posted about him the other day. I gave him, and I'm going to do some other singular posts on kids, but he is a total package. We don't get many legitimate guards that are at his size and can do what he can do. Like that's a legit 6'7" plus shooting guard that can jump out the gym, that can create off the dribble. That's a catch and shoot specialist from three. He's plays defense, so he's not just an offensive player. He blocks shots at the rim. He rebounds the ball. He's going to be so good this year for Crossings that they are going to be scary with him and Braden Buckingham in that.
He can impact the game on almost every level, and he's the one player out of a number. There's a number of players that you had at the camp, like we talked about, but he was one I watched as well during warmups, and I like how he moves defensively. He's got such a ceiling just defensively, let alone all the offensive capabilities you just laid out. Yeah. But I really liked where I could see him impacting the game defensively. He's special.
I mean, I want to say at UConn last year, he had like a triple double with blocks. So it's like, he's going to be, he's a kid
that's what I'm talking about.
He'll do whatever it takes. So then you're going to put him with Crossings Christian and some of those guys, not to harp on UConn, but Crossings Christian's got some better guards. So it's like they're going to be able to do some stuff with him, get him into some different positions. And I really think that, obviously Jock and Tyson are the cream of the crop of that class. And then there's guys, Memphis Duffys of the world. There's a bunch of guys that are up there. I love Cooper Hackett, and he's a 5-star offensive tackle. But I mean, love him. But Bo Barber is on his ascension to, right at the cusp of those, those guys that are the premier guys in that class. He is on his way there. And if I'm a college coach, I'm getting in on that kid, and I'm getting a relationship. I'm going to be at his games. I'm going to be watching him closely. But because he necessarily didn't play on a shoe team, maybe that's why his name isn't big, but he's loyal, and I understand that to his team and the Wolfpack team. But I'm just telling you that kid could play on any team around here within 1,000 miles of any shoe team, and he'd be a guy. So it's like he's that good. And
maybe we should start a new one, call it Barber Ball with this one, huh? I kind of like it. I have a little bit of I share something with the kid. I don't know if we're related somewhere down the line. I haven't asked the question, but we spell our name the same way.
He's got the Barber game. The athleticism, I don't know, man. He got that from somebody else. He got some freak athleticism.
Yeah, no, he does have some freak athleticism.
So I get you though, but
I think he's definitely another kid that stuck out to me. There's probably about 8 to 10 guys that I thought, man, looked really good in the camp, and he was certainly one of those.
I mean. So, We had 2 6'8" wings in the 28 class, and Carter Coleman from Oklahoma Christian Academy, which everybody knows how much I love Carter. We've talked about him multiple times that like he continues to grow. He's getting bigger and growing.
I remember he was about 5'2".
Yeah, his frame is filling out too. So not just height, he's getting some muscle on him. He looks really good to me. But his unique ability to do things and to, defensively when he's locked in and block shots and rebound and obviously score the ball and the things he can do off the dribble. It's right now there's like guys in Oklahoma, him, Bo Barber, that are like guys that we haven't necessarily had a bunch of lately, which have legitimate size and the skill set. Carter Coleman, he's getting interest from schools all over the country. I think it's a matter of time. He's with the Bradley Beal program. They do a great job. I think it's a matter of time before he picks up a big time offer. Love him. A guy that we brought in from Colorado, Greg Nicholson, one of my favorite players in the world. If you take Jock Mitchell's dunks, but put it with Carter Coleman or Bo Barber's body, that's Greg Nicholson out of Colorado, 6'8", 2028, looks, young, looks like a baby in the face. I can't even imagine where that kid's going to be in the next year, 2 years.
That projects pretty well. All that you just named there projects high major right there.
Handles the ball like a guard, can lights out shoot it from three, and throws down some of the hardest dunks. You see him dunking on top of people, all over them. Kid is absolutely special. Colorado, that kid should be in their top, 5-10 rankings. Whenever they do their new rankings, that kid isn't in it. Then somebody's got to show me the 2028 class in Colorado, because I seen some. I ain't seen them like that. They got to project out what this kid's going to be. Prospects Camp, and we explained it because this is the funny part is people, they think that we forgot to spell it right, like because there's no T in it.
No,
that it was intentional. We explained it at the camp, what its professional specifications is what it stands for. For people that didn't figure that out, that's what it means. But yes, it is a word play on prospects. So it is, we do want prospects, but we've had a few people reach out and say, do you know you forgot to spell that right? I'm like, did we? Man, I guess we need to go change all of our logos. That was a mistake. I guess I didn't use spell check, but obviously that was done on purpose. And hey, college coaches been calling me. They love it. They're like, it stands out. It's like, it's unique. We love that camp. We love the kids.
Everybody there's a prospect. Everybody there's a prospect. So
100%. They're a prospect at whatever level they're at. They're a prospect at a level, but they're prospects at the next level. So that's what we felt really proud about. And by the way, that's what a true invite-only camp is, because these invite-only camps that they say are invite-only are not invite-only. They allow anybody to sign up. They're giving free spots to everybody. They're taking whatever's left over, who they can get. That's not what we do. We want kids that really believe in what we're giving them and want to buy into the process. But we want to handpick guys that we believe can play at the next level.
I'll tell you this too, Chris. I had a number of calls that were kids outside of our program.
Yes.
Some in our program, but kids outside of our program that asked about another camp. Won't name the camp.
Yeah.
And they said, if I were to go to one or the other, which one should I go to? And I basically laid it out. This is one. There is only one choice here, and it's the Prospects Camp. And they absolutely, and they came away going, yeah, thank you for that advice. You were absolutely 100% correct on that. And these are people that are outside of our program too. So,
but this camp sold out so fast that I understand guys weren't able to get in, and so they have to do what they have to do. I'll just say this: next year, if you get your invite, you might want to sign up that day, because that's all that we can guarantee. Is we can give you an invite, but we ain't holding your spot.
This thing's only going up. You take from what you did the first year to this year, and last year was fantastic. This year, it's going to continue to grow like that. This is going to be a massive.
It's a national. It's not just going to be regional. It's a national camp. It's just what we'll decide to do with that. We have some big plans and some things. So stay tuned. But it's just a building, and it's just more about helping kids obviously get to the next level. That's our number one goal. But we love to put on a great product and make people want to come out and just watch, which I loved getting emails from guys saying like, hey, my kid's 8 years old. He just wants to, is it open to, can I bring him up there to watch? And absolutely. Bring your whole family. Like, if you love basketball, you ain't going to get that many good kids in one building playing against each other where we can decide matchups. So we can pin this A player versus that A player, and let's see what they do. So that's the real gist of it all. We loved it. But, so many guys to cover prospects wise, and I don't and I know we're not going to hit any. We might do another show to catch up. But guys that I really loved and thought that they really played well. Another in that 2028 class, Jarius Basel from Tulsa Memorial. Tulsa Memorial was well represented at this camp. Isaiah Garrett was phenomenal in this camp, but so was Jarius Basel. Jarius Basel is a 28 kid, about 6'2", 6'3" guard. Another explosive, quick twitch guard. Should be a household name after this year because Tulsa Memorial is going to be very good again.
Yes, they are.
They're going to be picked right up there with the best schools in 5A. So they are loaded. But Isaiah Garrett is about a 6'5", 6 kid, blew up in this camp. To me, was excellent. He was a guy that, was just where we took votes from all the coaches, and it went that way on the All-Star game. He should have been in it, and there was a few other guys, and I'm going to get to them. Edmond Santa Fe was very well represented at this camp. 2028, TJ Newton, one of the best scoring guards in that class, was phenomenal. But they had a couple kids.
Fantastic new coach going to be there too. So I think
Coach Evans. Shout out to Coach Evans. I just talked with him recently. I seen him a few.
He wins everywhere he goes, so I have no doubt that he's going to be competitive and having these.
Love that his son Trey is. I just was with Trey and Terry a couple weeks back. Got to speak with them briefly about some of their guys, and I love what they're doing, and
Good.
I love where they're headed. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when we talk about the high school. We're going to do some shows coming up about the coaches poll.
Looking forward to that.
But Money Robinson, the 2026 guard, he's an unsigned senior. I thought he couldn't have played better. His stock is elevated at an all-time high. He's a school. I think some JUCOs. Every JUCO in Oklahoma needs to take a look at him as a point guard that is just crafty. He plays hard. He's explosive. He can finish above the rim for his size. His brother's at Arizona State right now. His brother was one of the best running backs I've ever seen in high school. The athleticism in their family is nuts. But he is a bona fide guy in that class, in that 26 class, and deserves a chance at the next level. Loved him. 6'4" forward, wing for Santa Fe, Dwayne McKinney, 2027, was spectacular, long, defensive, plays for the I-4 program, Osapo guys program. This kid really put himself on the map. I already knew who he was. I already know he's really good. But this was a little coming out party for some of these guys. Those were two guys that I absolutely think should have been in the All-Star game, but numbers were numbers, and we took coaches' votes, and whoever had the most votes got in. So that's how that went. So love those kids. Matt Mason, who's the new addition to Oklahoma Christian Academy, will be playing alongside of Carter Coleman. College-ready body right now, 6'2", can play above the rim, heady, smart, high IQ, great defensively. That combination in Class A is going to be tough. That's why I said Okarche, they're got to be the favorite, but Oklahoma Christian Academy might got something to say about that because they got some size. That's what I like about those.
I agree with you. We'll talk more about those. I can't wait to get into that conversation. It's going to be fun.
There's so many guys. 6'8", Owen Wright out of Newcastle at 2028. He's been injured a lot, so his name hasn't been thrown out there. Bona fide
loaded.
Newcastle's
loaded.
Because we talk about Newcastle, we haven't even mentioned Owen because he's been hurt.
Yes,
but he's a 6'8", 2028 with a big body who's one of the best catch and shoot guys in Oklahoma. So it's
allow TJ to play off ball a little, or not play the 5 position as much. And you talk about somebody get off the floor and his long. You're going to struggle to score the basket.
The fact that Owen and TJ can space the floor and step out and shoot threes at that size, it's just mismatches all over the place. That's why Newcastle is going to do. But like you said, we're going to really get into all that and really break it down. But
it's going to be fun this year. There's a lot of excitement coming into this year because 2026 there's a lot of kids that are going to impact winning, and now you got the 2028s coming into these programs getting a lot of time. You're going to get some really, really good high-level high school basketball this year. I'm super excited about it. Super.
Absolutely. And then there's guys that are veterans, I think, in the 2026 class. DJ Padula was excellent. Oh, yeah. The way he runs his team, the grit. The dude is I say he's one of the grittiest guards in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I mean, he's just a pit bull. I love the way he plays. He just really was solid the other day. Absolutely. And now he's at Mount St. Mary.
Yep.
So I'm going to be interested to see. They're pretty good. They
Yep.
brought a lot of guys, and I think they're going to be very good. You know, he did really well. Jack Sheriff from Edmond
I
Memorial.
love Jack. Jack is probably one of my favorite players in Oklahoma. I don't say enough about him, but I talk to other coaches. They'll ask about him. I love his body. I think he's strong.
Yep.
He's smart. He's tough. He can shoot from the perimeter. He does everything that you ask of him. He gives 110%. I mean, he does a lot of things well. But I think one of the things people don't realize is when you look at his body, he's got a college body. I mean, he really does.
Yeah, you saw. Really, I put a post out recently. Like, he's got a chance to be like a defensive stopper at the next level.
Yeah,
he can score the ball, but at that frame and that size and the strength and the kind of the way he positions, uses his hands well defensively. He's very smart.
He's very unselfish.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he's very unselfish. He does whatever he's asked to do. I really like him. I think the team that they had this year was a really, really good team, and he was a big part of that. So
absolutely, I couldn't agree more. You know, so many guys. Isaiah Thompson is a 6'4" guy, kind of a wing forward, and he's playing at Oklahoma City Storm. He had an unbelievable run at this camp. I mean, he really. Like, I have heard about him and I've seen him in passing, but, you know, obviously, you know what I do. I watch so many kids.
Yeah, there was a few coaches asked about him specifically during the camp.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good. I couldn't give enough superlatives on what he did at this camp and everything. I was very impressed with him. He's going to be a kid to me that, like, that's what this camp was about, was guys like him coming in. They made a name for themselves, and now guys like myself will be out there to monitor him and follow, and so will college coaches, like you said, that were watching and seeing some stuff from him. You know, Caven Hill is a kid that maybe not many have heard of. He's a 2028. He's about 6'6" out of McAllister. Watch out for McAllister in basketball. Rodney Smith is maybe one of the top players in Oklahoma. Not maybe, he is.
Yeah, he is.
Top guy in Oklahoma, regardless of class. And then you throw Caven in there. He got a lot of guys were talking about him and just kind of his versatility, his length, some of the stuff he could do defensively, but some of the stuff he was doing, like cutting to the rim. He's going to be a name that's kind of like a hidden gem right now. Guys like that. I thought a kid and that I think is going to blow up, Javier Richards out of Millwood, a 2027. And now with Millwood, we know they already have two committed Division I guards. Mm-hmm. Jonathan Van Buren, who I was about to get talking about, who was great, made the top 20 game, who might have the most college-ready body in Oklahoma. If you're looking at bodies and what he can do, how strong he is that he can play down low because Millwood doesn't have a lot of size, and he can bang with the biggest of guys, but he's got guard skills to go out there and do it all. I love Jonathan Slim Van Buren. I think he's a Division I level guard. Will he go there out of high school? We'll figure that out. But I absolutely think he will get there. So Millwood is essentially dealing with 3 D1 guards. And Javier, to me, is the kid that has a chance to blow up the biggest for them this upcoming season. He was really good in this camp. I mean, he is an explosive combo guard. I like everything about him. He rebounds. He'll get in the paint and muck it up. He don't mind battling. He had some dunks that were highlight worthy. Yes. He could shoot the ball. A kid that I really think is ready to blow up is him.
Jonathan Van Buren, I definitely agree with you. I think he'll end up at the Division I level. I don't know that he'll start out there. I think he'll probably end up going JUCO to begin with to kind of work on, adding some strength and some size there. But after that, I think he is as versatile of a kid as I think in that class as you're going to find. So I think he's definitely going to end up at that level. But how he gets there.
And then sticking with some of them 2027s I was talking about, I would be, for not mentioning this kid off the rip, I think he's playing right now as good as anyone in Oklahoma. Brennan Malone, who's always been one of my favorite players because of how hard he plays on the defensive end. He impacts winning by strictly being a defender. He's about 6'7.5". He might be pushing 6'8". He's at South Central Prep. He was unbelievable in this game. And he's mad at me because he was our defensive MVP, and he could have gotten it. He easily could have gotten it again because the guy blocks more shots that you don't know how he blocks them, because his back will be to the basket. He'll turn, and the guy will already be in the air for a dunk. He'll turn and block the shot. Like, you're like, how did you even have time to do that? His timing is elite. His timing is some of the best timing I've ever seen at shot blocking. And the guys that know me, that know him, and some of them guys at South Central Prep, Coach Rice up there knows how I feel about this kid, because that's how I got in contact with these guys. Is I said, this kid is unbelievable the first time I've ever seen him. He used to be at Lawton MacArthur, I think,
Yep.
and when I first found him, and this kid was unbelievable. But it's his offensive game. It's he's right now, he's at that part that some kids get to where it just looks like it's all clicking for him.
Yes.
And they've already played games, because they're a prep school. They've already played some national level. And I had guys from Texas calling me left and right, like, who the hell is this kid?
Yeah, speaking of, Coach Rice is building a juggernaut there at South Central. I'm telling you what.
They had a hell of a showing.
Shout out to Coach Rice.
Showing out at Sloan's event this weekend.
Yeah.
They beat Faith Family, which is loaded with 4 and 5 stars. They beat Melissa. They killed Melissa. And they got some guys too.
He's building the juggernaut out there. By the way, he called me today, and I was at work, and I wasn't able to get the message, so I'll make sure I get back to him. But shout out to Coach Rice. He's doing a fantastic
job. Put a hell of a job together. But another one, Jance Alsup in that 26 class. Jance was phenomenal the other day. 2 big guys at South Central Prep that need to have offers from all over the place. There are schools in Oklahoma that should be on these 2 guys right now.
Yep,
I mean,
totally
they have size, they have the skill set, they both play hard. They each do things differently, and that's what I love about the both of them. But they're on the same team, so you can go watch that team and figure out which one you like right off the bat. Love them. Some other 27s, Xavier Embro, the point guard from Heritage Hall. Love him. Not many faster, more electric kids in the game than him. Got that smooth release. Can finish above the rim. He's a great playmaker. Love him.
Yeah, he's one of those top 10 guys that I really, really like too.
He's in that 27 class. He's just continuing to elevate and get better and better. Love what he did. Braden Buckingham was the same. Braden Buckingham is so solid. It's just, he's so consistent.
Yeah.
Him, Caden Leach, I talk about these guys year in, year out because of the way they play. Both of them were phenomenal at this camp. And both I'm expecting huge seasons for their respective schools.
Yep.
Obviously, Caden Leach goes from where he helped Deer Creek, may have been their unsung hero of the season. He's at Terra Verde now.
Yeah.
And then obviously Braden Buckingham is gonna try to finish this thing off at Crossings Christian and bring him home one, because they were very close. But Weatherford was another animal last year. But that, thankful to the rest of the state, those guys have moved on.
They're all gone. They all kind of went.
Some of them very well.
Yes.
You know a couple of those guys really well. So
and they're doing well at the next level too. I stay in touch with them. I text them pretty regularly. Both of them are doing really, really well, and CJ's doing well too. So
yep. Love it. I gotta talk about this kid, because this kid is the epitome of a real point guard. Aiden Cooper Kelly picked this camp apart with his passing. Like, what I love about him is like his game plan coming into this camp was, I know everybody wants to try to score the ball, and he could flat out score the ball. But he went into this with like, I'm going to show them what I can do by running a team at an extremely high level. And him in the pick and roll, it reminds me of Cal Furnish, and what that means in the pick and roll, because not many better in Oklahoma in the last 10 years than Cal Furnish. Aiden Cooper Kelly's got an opportunity to do that. His IQ is on another level. He plays with a pace. He looks like he's going slow, but he's not. He just knows how to turn it on and off. And the fact that you now add him to the backcourt with Bo Billingsley at Norman, have fun with that backcourt.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. That's a crazy backcourt, by the way.
Yeah, and then, you add Gideon Holt to that, too. I mean, coming off the bench or whatever they do there.
Gideon Holt, throw Montrell Combs-Pierce in there, which I haven't even mentioned, who did well at the camp.
Norman is stacked, loaded, and they've got a really good coaching staff. So it's
not only that, but we only invited a few freshmen. Luke Knowles that goes to has a possible chance to be the best guard in that class, in the 2029 class. He's legit. And then he's going to have to spend the time behind Aiden Cooper Kelly and Bo Billingsley this year. It's only going to make him better. So it's like, and then Braylon Robinson, who I didn't even get into him, another 2029, who, by the way, had votes for the All-Star game in this camp. He was phenomenal. And he's 6'4", 6'5".
2029, 6'4",
2029, can handle it. His older brother's joining in there, Kaysen Robinson, who made the top 20 game.
Yep.
Love him. Love what he does. He plays excellent in this camp. But younger brother, like, I knew Kaysen's good. I know what Kaysen can do. Kaysen has a legitimate role to carve out at the next level, and a lot of schools could use what he does. But younger brother, to come in the scene and play like that against that level of competition, that just showed me right there, like, that's going to be a guy in that 2029 class. Mm-hmm. He's a dude. And he got the size to back it up. So it's like he's going to be somebody in that class. Loved him. Two guys that are near and dear to your heart, Colton Brammer, Destin Edwards.
Yep.
Solid, did everything that I expect from them to do. I love both those kids and the way that they approach the game.
Yep.
So I'm always going to love kids that do that and bring it. They both played excellent. As we talk about guys that are experts in setting things up, seeing the play develop, Destin Edwards is right there.
Yes. Can shoot it from the parking lot. I would argue that he's probably got more range than just about anybody consistently in the state. And he plays the point guard position the way that the coaches are going to need it and ask for it to be played at the next level. So he's certainly and of course, Colton, Colton's game, he can play a point guard position. He can also play a combo position as well.
Yep.
Can shoot it. Clutch. He hit some clutch threes for us to win games this past spring and summer. So, shout out to those guys. Those guys were the backbone of our team. Now, I mentioned Gideon Holt, Gunnar Starnes. So they were there at the camp as well, along with TJ Williams.
Yep.
So we had 5 of the guys there. Ivan Donkar was out because of you talk about an athlete probably, and I would argue maybe one of the best, if not the best, just pure athlete in any class. I could argue it. Had a minor surgery on his knee to clean up some things. He's playing with pain for the past year. And I saw him do things this last summer I haven't seen in a long time. I've not witnessed it, and his knee was hurting. And when I say hurting, it was really hurting. So once he gets back to full strength, which he will this year for Newcastle, that kid. I watched him block a shot. I thought he blocked it with his elbow. And this is with a kid. This is with a Pro 16 guy. That's I want to say a 3 or 4 star guy that was about 6'8" or 6'9".
Yep.
And so no, he wasn't there obviously because he was out, but I know he would have been had he been healthy. That's 6 guys on our roster that would have been at the camp. So we all the guys on our squad, and I want to say this to coaches. I'd be remiss if I didn't have this platform and say it. Every guy that played on our team this year is capable of impacting and helping a team at any level, at various levels, depending on their skill sets and needs. But certainly, encourage the coaches to reach out and recruit those guys. Yeah. So,
and I'd love to talk about all the 100 kids that were there, but I gotta speed it up and just give a couple more guys that I think Kuba Malecki is going to be a name that no one in Oklahoma has ever heard because he just moved here. He played for the Irish national team in the 16s and 18, U16 and U18. He's been one of their best players. He's 6'8". He looks like he weighs. They got him listed on this as like 220. He looked like he weighs 260 of all muscle. He's
just another one that a lot of people were asking about. Who's this kid? Who is this?
Yeah, he's going to go to Cassidy this year. Matter of fact, I just saw him play. He played football at tight end. I don't know if I think this is the first time he's ever tried football. I saw some highlights from him the other night at tight end. have fun with that. But tackling this young man, he can run. He was crazy. But basketball wise, best footwork in the camp. Best footwork in the camp for a
That's
big guy.
saying something too.
Phenomenal footwork. Dunks everything. Can shoot. Can do everything. He could play the traditional old school big man. You can put him in the Steven Adams role, let's just say, or you can put him out in the modern and he can shoot it. And colleges have been calling about him, and he's going to get some offers from out of this. Just remember that name, Kuba Malecki. You're going to hear about this kid when basketball season starts because I don't know that anyone in Oklahoma can stop this kid. And at Cassidy, I don't think anyone's going to stop him. I don't know how good Cassidy's going to be overall.
I knew it's going to be fun this year.
Yeah, you're going to hear about that. You're going to hear about his name. So you heard it here on the Flagrant 2. First, Kuba Malecki is going to be a name that you hear a lot of this season.
And a kid that can play with his back to the basket, too. Yeah.
And you might hear it first in football because if he keeps running people over like I've seen and scoring touchdowns left and right, you might hear it there, but he's a basketball stud. And that kid should be on every single college's radar in Oklahoma. He's another one. Guys like Deshaun Denson, which we wanted to give Deshaun a special shout out because here's why. Deshaun is the first kid and the only kid that attended all 3 of these camps. And obviously the first camp, I was there covering it, but I was not, I was part of the team, but it wasn't my camp or our camp. Deshaun was there for that. He's always trusted in us. And for that, we owe him and his family a bit of gratitude because that they trusted in us. And then he obviously last year when we came together, me and Chevis, he was there. And then as prospects, it would have only been right that he was there. So Deshaun Denson is one of my favorite kids in Oklahoma off the floor, let alone I love his game.
You've always talked about him, always since we started.
I love Deshaun Denson because he is a true in, true out basketball player. He loves this game. He bleeds basketball. He deserves everything that's come to him. He's a state champion. He's earned his rights. He's going to be a great college player. I can't wait to see where he goes.
Yeah.
I know he's got some opportunities at the Division I level. I would love to see him at the right school. I would love to see him at some specific schools around here, but hey, we'll keep working on that. But I wanted to give a shout out to Deshaun Denson because he played lights out, but being that he's the first 3-time guy we've had, and he won't be the last because we're going to have many others. Starting next year, there's going to be quite a few of those 3-time guys.
Yep.
And heck, we might have some 4-time guys eventually.
That's true.
It depends how that works out. A lot of times what happens is they're committed by their senior year, and then they don't get to come. And so that makes sense, if why
You'll
that
have
happens.
a few, though. You'll have a few.
Absolutely. And we look forward to that. Last couple guys I want to hit real fast. And this is a kid that will be a household name, stock riser, Guthrie High School, 6'5", Colson Smedley. Stud. I'm
That's
telling
another
you right,
one of my 10, yeah.
Yep, Colson Smedley will be on every single school's radar after this year. He can flat out shoot it. He's got a college-ready body at 6'5". He unbelievable. I'm not even going to get into superlatives because I want to do like a full show when we talk about Guthrie and get a little bit more into him because I think he's a bona fide star in that class, that 2027 class in Oklahoma. He's a dude, and every shoe team in the world will be on him once they see him.
Yep.
But he's another guy. Some out-of-state guys. Jack Loluila from Denton High School. I said he's the most high motor active kid I've seen in a long time. That kid in the All-Star game might have had 12 blocks and 6 steals. I mean, he's just one of those go gadget guys that you don't have to score a lot, but he's always around the rim, tipping it in. That junkyard dog persona.
Yep.
A guy that has some offers from Independence offered him. I know that, but a guy that you'll hear about played on the Under Armour circuit.
Independence Coach has been recruiting Oklahoma players quite consistently.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
he's getting a good result from it too.
Yep, absolutely. And some other guys. I thought this guy, and he plays with David Douglas in high school, and he's the point guard too, alongside him. Greg Nash. Little Nash was he plays with some of the best basketball IQ in Oklahoma. If you guys haven't seen Greg Nash play at East Central, that kid is a maestro. He makes the right plays. He makes the right reads. He's extremely heady. He has a bunch of like offers. He doesn't even post them. He's just really about work, about putting that work in and getting some stuff. But I think that's a name to East Central is going to be really good, by the way.
Yes, they are.
But they are a contender in 5A and could be Newcastle, them, and Booker T. Booker T's got to always be. You got to knock off the champ to knock them off. And with Jock Mitchell and Mason Matulis, I'm not, and Isaac Sanders, I'm not going
Memorial too. Yeah.
But Memorial, but exactly. But East Central, Greg Nash, DJ Rhodes, like they got young guys. Like they're gonna be good. East Central is gonna be good for the next 2-3 years.
Yes,
like,
they are.
They're gonna be phenomenal. So Greg Nash blew me away with the way he played. He played well in the state tournament, but he blew me away the way he played the other day because of his unselfishness. He gets guys involved, but he knows when to take his shots. He knows he gets into the paint, gets in there 2 feet, does so much stuff of drive and kick. Love him. Both Baba brothers from Santa Fe, JoJo Baba, 2026, 6'5", 6'6". Every single JUCO in Oklahoma should have an offer to JoJo. And then his younger brother, Joshua Baba, in the 28 class, has got a chance to be a bona fide star.
Yeah.
If he keeps working, he's got a chance to be in there. Listen, I know we missed out on some guys. Braylon Edwards from Byron Nelson High School, which is a historic high school in Dallas, can absolutely shoot the top, leather off the ball, 6'4" shooting guard, 27 class. Loved him. Loved that he came out from Texas. So many guys to get into, Ernie. You know, we could just keep going on and on.
We could sit here for 3 or 4 hours, probably.
I'd love to talk about every single kid, and I probably will, because we'll probably come on another show and I'll remember who I forgot, and I'll mention them.
Oh, when we get into the high school teams, we'll go down to the roster, and we're gonna talk about most of them. The best players, all the good players, are gonna be the ones that were at your camp. So
absolutely, we covered a lot of kids. We covered 60 kids, or maybe more tonight alone. So we'll definitely hit those other kids on the next show as we dig into some of them high school things. I know you and I have got a couple bones to pick on this coaches poll. We like some of it, but we don't like some of it. And I know it's only 5A and 6A that have come out so far, but we're gonna dissect that stuff on our next episode.
There's 3 or 4 that I'm just like, what?
Yeah, and I got a team that I mentioned some of their kids on the show that I think that they're way higher than they got.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into that. We appreciate you, Oklahoma. Don't count out the flagrant 2. We ain't gone anywhere. We just
no. We've just been getting back. You know, we have to have lives a little bit, do some other things. You know, Chris is out recruiting and doing his thing outside of, you know, what he normally does and putting on the camp and all the other things he's been doing. And I've decided to have a little bit of an adult life and go vacation and do some other things. So we'll get back at it, do it, you know, on a regular basis, bi-weekly basis or whatever, and have some guests on and stuff. So
and camp is going to be camps coming up, so just stay tuned. But before we get to that, if you're not following the Flagrant 2 on all social medias, please, it takes 2 seconds of your time.
Just click
the button, click the follow on Instagram, get on our YouTube page and go click subscribe. It takes 2 seconds. I'm about to do a giveaway. I'm about to give something away to get people to sign up.
Pokeball gear away.
I'm sick of this. Sign up on the damn YouTube page. We love you, Oklahoma. You know we got love for you. We love the kids. We love everything about Oklahoma basketball. We're going to have some great shows coming up.
Yes.
Our annual preseason show will be coming up, which, by the way, is the highest rated basketball podcast in Oklahoma when it comes out. So
that's right.
Stay tuned for that. Coming soon. We love you, Oklahoma. Peace.